Holy smokes. Is that a mudfish? No, it's a bass. Oh my gosh. What a bite, my friend. Well, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Tyler's Real Fishing. Let's go. Look at the color of this fish. It is like dark brown. That is incredible right there. And as you can see, we're fishing around a lot of grass today. Now, recently I dropped a video on my top 5 lures for, or top 3 lures for fishing around the grass and around the weeds. And one of my honorable mentions that probably should have spent a little more time talking about was the old jig or the old punch rig. And it helps you catch fish like this. So let's talk about it. Well, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to Tyler's Real Fishing. My name is Tyler, as I just told you, and welcome back to my channel. I love teaching you guys how to become better bass anglers with every single video that you watch. And today's video is kind of going to go parallel with one that I just released, either the previous one or the one before that, and it is all about fishing around vegetation. Now, when I made my other video, I did my top 3 lures with 2 honorable mentions of what my top lures are for fishing around vegetation. So I included everything. I included underwater, above water, middle of the water, any sort of water vegetation, anything that's green or brown in the water that fish live in. That's what I talked about. And today I'm going to kind of talk about what you do when you have so much vegetation in your pond or your lake that you're just not exactly sure where to go fishing. You're not sure where to present your lure to put it in the best chance to go in a fish's mouth. So before we get started, I want to talk about AFTCO clothes real quick. You guys know I've been with AFTCO for, how long has it been? 3 or 4 years, and I love it. AFTCO is one of the coolest companies I've ever had the chance of working with, not only because they make super amazing clothes that are comfortable, innovative, but they also give a lot of money back towards conservation. They're one of the only companies that I know, at least publicly, that gives money back towards conservation. And their clothes are dope. This is the Yuri long sleeve SPF 50, so you don't even have to wear sunscreen. I put a buff on. It's a part of the shirt. And then the hoodie. Throw on some sunglasses, and you're good to go. And so if y'all want to shop for AFTCO clothes, I have a discount code for you guys to use down below, 15% off using code TRF. And yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting the sponsors that are on this channel, because that is how I keep my good relationships with them, is when you guys purchase their products. So with that little ad out of the way, let's jump into the content. So we all should know at this point, I've made several videos on it, that bass love to live around vegetation. And one of my favorite ways to catch them, as I talked about in my previous video, is on some kind of larger soft plastic craw/jig presentation. This here is a punch rig. I've also made a video on punching and how to set the hook when you're punching. I'll have both of those videos linked down below in the description, as well as, of course, the AFTCO discount codes, everything y'all need. But when you have, let's say you're fishing a pressured pond and you've got a huge expanse of lily pads, or you're out here, and I'll talk about in a second, you've got a huge, I don't know, endless, thousands and thousands of acres of rice grass, and you think, these bass could be anywhere. Where the heck are they? A lot of people are just gonna throw at the edge. They're gonna think, you know what, there can't be any bass into that grass. I'm just gonna throw at the edge. And you're gonna be sadly mistaken, because bass love to go everywhere. Problem is, when you have so much grass, you can't actually present your lures in those areas. So what are the areas that you guys have to target in your pond or lake to have the most chance of catching a fish? And that is the area that nobody else goes to. So everybody flips to the edge, or everybody punches far deep in the mat. You just have to figure out for your body of water what areas people are not presenting lures to catch fish. And one of those oftentimes is a punch rig or a heavy grass jig. You know, whether it's flipping it 5 feet past the edge into a mat, or if you're not in a pressure body of water, flipping it right to the edge. It's a great way to catch especially bigger sized fish. So the combo that I'm throwing before we hop on the front deck and show y'all some fun fish catches from today's action is the Lew's Custom Speed Stick 7.6 medium heavy 7.6 heavy bait casting rod. I throw this one for punch rigs and frogs. I've got Seagar Smackdown braid, 65 pound. You have to have braided line for this. I don't care what kind of grass you're fishing in, braided line is a necessity, unless of course it's crystal clear water and you're just fishing the edge, then you can get away with fluorocarbon or monofilament. But most of the time using thick heavy braid. Then I've got a 3/4 ounce Strike King tungsten weight. I've got a 4/0 flipping hook, and of course, oh, where'd it go? I've got the Strike King punch bug in Okeechobee craw, my favorite color they make for the punch bug. So that is the gear that I'm throwing. My buddy Jack, who I'm fishing with today. Say hello, Jack. There he is.
Hello.
He said that I was a poet because I said the title of this video was going to be Catching Bass in an Expansive Field of Grass. But let's hop up on the front deck and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about in today's episode with this vast grass flats, that even rhymed, of rice grass. And we'll see you guys when we catch some fish. gosh, holy smokes. Thing came out of nowhere. Woo, that was awesome. Thank you, buddy. Look at this. It's an absolute like chunkosaurus. They are coming out of the weeds to eat it, which is kind of funky. You flip it to the edge and they're not getting off though, that's for sure. Wow, such a healthy fish. Love this place. Very, very fun. Thank you, buddy. Have a good life. He didn't have any time to get his energy out, so there it goes. So I wanted to hop up on the front deck real quick before we got back to some fish catches, because it's a pretty exciting day we had here on the water. But I wanted to discuss what we're doing. So if you pan the camera over here, you guys can see we've got a lot of grass. This here in Minnesota is called rice. Not the kind you eat on the dinner table, but this is a different type of aquatic vegetation. And of course it can lay down when it kind of dies off here and forms a mat, and it can also stand up, as you see throughout this whole field. So you may look at it, and whatever type of grass you got in your lake, maybe it's hydrilla, maybe it's lily pads, maybe it's I know, a whole field of cattails like we have over there. We've got no shortage of grass here, so you may think, where are the fish going to be? If there's water back there, because of course grass has to grow in water, I can't cast there. I can't get my punch rig or my jig in there. I can't even fish it with a frog because it's too thick. And so you kind of have to pick the highest percentage-wise area of where the fish are going to be. And because we're fishing in a river system today, the flowing water, the most oxygen, the most nutrients, the whole ecosystem is going to revolve around kind of the outside edges. So when I was fishing down in Florida, as I mentioned before, I'll link down below the how to punch and how to the hook set video. I talked about, you know, fish being underneath mats about as far back as you can get. And the reason why I said that is because you can actually, you know, access that. The fish can actually get back there. I just highly doubt if there are any fish, the majority of them are not going to be all the way back here. They're going to be right here on the edge. Now, of course, I'm not saying flip your bait to the edge, maybe flip it 5-6 feet in, but in this scenario, it's not really worth your time to try to cast way out there, because you're not going to be able to feel the bite, and most likely the fish are not there due to the fact that the whole ecosystem is out here on this side. So I've talked about the different types of ecosystems, and not every type of grass is the same, and so you're not going to be able to approach them all the same. So when I'm fishing like this area here, I've got my punch rig. Like I said, punch rig, jig, basically interchangeable. I'm going to be flipping like this, kind of to where the tall rice meets the rice that's been laying down. Give it a few hops. Maybe I'll see a little pocket that I can reach that's farther in there like this. I might give it a flip in there, give it a few hops. Oh gosh, that was a fish. He pulled my trousers down. Like I said, sometimes it's worth it to flip to a little pocket that you can see in there, because there could be fish. So let's see if we can get that one to bite. Come on. Come on, buddy. But most of the time, your fish are going to be concentrated in one area. So if you can access those you know, mats that are farther out, your fish are probably going to be concentrated there. And if you have increased fishing pressure, you're also going to see that the fish are going to move to the areas where anglers are not most of the time reaching. So if the bass were not pressured, I guarantee you they'd just be cruising the edge here, super easy to catch on a Cinco, on a topwater, whatever. But because this place has some pressure to it, some anglers that are all throwing the same thing, I'm throwing this bait so it gets a little bit farther into where those fish are now sitting. So with that said, hopefully you guys are not confused, but here's quite a few fish catches for our fun day out here on the water. There's one. Goodness jeepers. Hello. Hello. Got another one. Oh, that is such a fun hook set, let me tell you. You know. Don't you know, Jack? Don't you know? He knows. Not even a big one, but got the punch bug in his mouth. Popped it out. That was nasty. Hannah, don't watch this video, please. A perch? Are you kidding me? Are you joking me? What the heck kind of thing is this? I have never, ever, can I repeat ever, caught a jumbo perch on a punch rig. This is a perch caught on a 4/0 flipping hook. Not even in the mouth, outside the mouth. On a Strike King punch rage butter. That dude right there would taste delicious. Very cool. All right, well, multi-species, I guess. Stripbush. Oh, get him. Get that old slimy, nasty boy. We are just having a fun multi-species day, boys and girls. Oh yeah, they are. In New York, it's giant mud. Gosh, that's a bass. That is not a mudfish. Here, let's go. Let's go. Bring it on in here. Ha ha ha. Coming on the frog. Just a little one to end the video. Hope y'all have enjoyed it. I know I said this video was about the punch rig. It was, but whenever you see a fish, little 1-2 punch, as I talked about, you want to make sure you have a frog tied on, because you're going to see fish have some activity around you. You want to make sure you have a top water to throw at the ones that are super active. And I just saw one. He was probably chasing a bluegill, chasing something, and was able to get him to bite. So pretty awesome. Love these Minnesota bass. And we'll see y'all next time on TRF.